Does Alex Bregman want to hit more than 220? I don't know. Does Jeremy Pena want the Astros to win more than 7 games? Hey, guys, do y'all want to get back on track? On this edition of Locked On Astros.
Yainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
Hey, and welcome into another edition of Locked On Astros. I'm Htown Wheelhouse, and you can find me on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Back to the Bullpen on Instagram and on X. You can find me at Stros411 on Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on YouTube, on Instagram, Spotify, TikTok. I mean, wherever you get your podcasts, check us out. We're free and easy to listen to, whether you're on your way home from work, or on your way to work. No matter what it is you're doing, make sure that you're listening to Locked On Astros. Make us your first listen every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. Look, Monopoly Go is today's go-to game. If you have a competitive side like I do, it is an amazing game. I'm a big fan of it. I've been playing it for the last several days. I haven't stopped, and it's a hit twist on the classic Monopoly. So join your friends and download Monopoly Go now, free, at the App Store or Google Play Store. So thank y'all for tuning in. Had a little few-minute delay here. I'm flying solo again. Eric is still on the IL, but he should be back soon. He's doing better. He appreciates the well wishes, but I just want to let y'all know that they stint on IL. So good. I am here picking up. That's why we make such a great team. Look, there's a few things I want to talk about. We will look ahead to the matchups towards the end of this episode, but we've got to talk about something that I think is obvious, and maybe it's not as profound because we've seen it happening before our very eyes. But this whole thing about athletes declining, we know whenever they get to a certain age, they just don't perform as well. And we see that like that is being absolutely made a prime example of through Jose Abreu. And the thing is, how bad would it look, Ray says, if we dump Jose Abreu? Look, you're not going to dump $18 million. You're not going to dump, was it $36 million he's owed? You're not going to do that. Quite simply. Oh, you heard my voice on Apollo? Yeah, we need leadership 100%. I didn't know if they played mine or not. Mine wasn't one of the more salacious, but the guys at Apollo, Dez and Brian Lima, they took voice messages on the show, and there were some pretty belligerent people, some pretty upset people. It was quite comical, and I didn't know I made the cut. I'll have to go back. I just listened to the clip they shared on X, so I haven't heard the whole thing. I did share something on there. I didn't want to go too controversial because I knew they would know who it was. And, you know, I'm trying to be always positive, always Astros, and it's tough. Especially when I look at this chart. Look at this chart that I found. Actually, Brian McTaggart tweeted it, and I cannot remember where it came from. I'll give the credit here in a second. But this is the aging curve for swing speed. And you see right here the swing speed of 72 miles per hour at 22 years of age. Right at where I guess no. Juan Soto's not, is he 22? Anyways, he's still young. And you see it dips, it goes up a little bit, and it just continually declines. Once you get to 31, it drops about a half mile per hour per year. So if we're at Abreu, we're in between 36 and 37. He's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's got about 5 miles per hour off of his bat speed, off his swing speed. So that's not a good thing. And then when you couple that with, you look at his WRC plus, the leaders for the Astros, Abreu's at a minus 32. We do have a lot of guys that are pretty high. 196 Altuve, 161 Tucker, 152 Alvarez, 147 Pena, 124 Diaz, 114 Dubon, 107 Caratini, 102 McCormick. Then it drops Myers, Singleton, and Bregman. Bregman's at 76. And I mentioned this today to somebody, and they didn't realize it. They were like, well, I haven't really followed the Astros this year. How bad is Jose Abreu playing? And I said, well, his average is lower than his jersey number. His jersey number 79. That's not good. Let's get Jared Walsh. Is he on the market, or is he a free agent, or is he playing with somebody? Oh, they just released him. Okay. Look, right now at this point, I say bring anybody in, but where are you going to put him? Does Jared Walsh play first base? I would have to look that up because let me look that up real quick, because I cannot remember. Because if I remember correctly, Jared Walsh doesn't just play one position. Is that correct? Okay. Oh, he is a first baseman. Okay. That's why I was wondering. So he is a first baseman. He's hitting 226 this year. Last year he hit 125. I don't know, man. I don't know if you want to get him in there, but okay. Look, I guess right now we could sign a blind pigeon and they would probably do just as good as Abreu is at the plate. But the thing is, we got an athlete that we know is a bad signing, and he's in decline, and he's not showing any signs of improvement. And that really, really hurts. But we have got to, and it's hard. I'm going to look at the bright spots later on. It's hard to see those bright spots because even those that are hitting, even those with the high WRC plus, even the fact that Jeremy Pena is kind of having a resurgent year, hitting way better this year than he was last year. And when you look at his 23 numbers and his 24 numbers, a vast improvement. I mean, he's playing like he's playing in the playoffs in the 2022 season when we won the World Series for the second time. But everybody else around him, it's like, what are we doing here? I don't get it. Now, I had tinkered with doing like a lineup, making up a lineup. And it's funny. Anytime you go out on a limb and make a lineup that you think, now look, when I make a new lineup and a fresh lineup, I don't sit there and dissect every single part of it to make sure that it makes 100% sense. I'm just trying to look at their WRC plus, saying, okay, where would I put them? And this is what I would do. And someone goes, that's why you're not manager. You know what? You're correct. Thank you for telling me what I already knew. I would put, so I think I'm going to move Altuve out of the leadoff spot. And I'll tell you why. If you're dead set on putting Alvarez in the 2-hole, why don't you put Alex Bregman? He walks a lot. I know he's 226. I know he's 220, 219, but he walks a lot. He sees a lot of pitches. But we're going to go with Altuve and leadoff. I'm putting Altuve leadoff. I'm putting Jeremy Pena second, Alvarez third, Kyle Tucker fourth, Yainer Diaz fifth, Alex Bregman sixth, Mauricio Dubon seventh, Chas McCormick, then Jake Myers. Where would I put Mauricio Dubon? I don't care. Put him at first base. Like my friend Mark makes a good point. He's a versatile infielder, and I know we need to keep him for the purposes of being a utility guy. But Mauricio Dubon, if he's that good to get nominated for 2 different Gold Gloves, don't you think he would be agile enough and be able to maybe at least scoop some ground balls at first base? I'm not saying it's easy, but you're not going to, I would love to put Caratini at first and Mauricio Dubon in center and Chas in left. And sorry, Myers, you'd be on the bench, but that's what I would do. But we know they're not going to put Caratini because you got Caratini at first. You would have Diaz at catcher. Who's your backup? Oh, I guess Caratini could move to the catcher spot. You could switch them out, but you've got both catchers playing at the same time. Now, this isn't a night in, night out thing, but someone made the argument when I made this lineup. They said, hey, why do you have Bregman hitting below Mauricio Dubon? Mauricio Dubon's a 114 WRC plus. Look, this is definitely a chess thing because you've got all of these issues. You're hitting well. You're hitting home runs. You're getting hits. You're one of the top offenses in the league, but you can't score. You can't get guys from second to home. You make base running mistakes. You try to steal home on a guy that's got a laser arm in Lane Thomas Well, yeah, he was up against the screen and you force him to make a play. Yeah, you force him to get Altuve out. Altuve could have stayed. No telling what could have happened. JJ Metišević, he's gone. They cut him loose. He didn't have it. JJ did not have it. I didn't think he had it when he was here. I never said that out loud, but I just there was something about him. Whenever he was on the field, it always seemed like he wasn't really willing to talk. He was real to himself. He seemed to walk around with a chip on his shoulder, almost like he felt like he deserved a shot and he wasn't getting it or something. But JJ never really, to me, was just one of those players that you go, yeah, you just look at his attitude, you look at the way he carries himself. I just didn't think that he had what it took to be a major leaguer. Now, I don't have what it takes to be a major leaguer. So I'm just saying that compared to the other guys that are on the big club. And that makes me remember that I need to tell y'all about a couple of our sponsors, Policygenius and Game Time. This episode is brought to you by Policygenius. Check life insurance off your to-do list in no time. Head to policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. Policygenius is the country's leading online insurance marketplace that saves you time and money so that you can provide your family with financial safety net starting today. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $292 a year for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer same-day approval and avoid unnecessary medical exams. They help you compare options from top companies. Your life insurance policy may not offer what you have or enough coverage, but we are here to help you at Policygenius. They give you unbiased advice from a licensed expert support team, and they have no incentive to recommend you something you don't want or you don't need. So right now, check that off your to-do list, getting life insurance at policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. Click on the link in the description and get your free life insurance quotes. See how much you can save. That's policygenius.com/LockedOnMLB. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is America's #1 place to go get tickets. And let me tell you, download this app today. Use the code LockedOnMLB for $20 off. That's right. I love Game Time. I've used Game Time. I tell you, it's almost like a broken record, but you know why? That's a good thing, because I keep going back to the same site to get my tickets when I need them. The lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, 24-hour returns guaranteed, job loss assurance, one-time ticket delivery. Literally, go to the stadium, go to Minute Maid Park, go to the One Financial Center, go to the Toyota Center, and buy your tickets as you're walking up. You don't have to plan months in advance. All-in-one pricing is cool. They have last-minute ticket deals, zone deals. They also have this thing where if you find a seat in the same section, same row for less, they'll credit you 110% the difference. So right now, use the promo code LockedOnMLB for $20 off your first purchase. That's LockedOnMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Yeah, so the Houston Astros, in order to get to their 84-78 projected win-loss total, are going to have to, let me see if I could do this real quick, because I thought I did the math before I started, but I guess I did not. They're gonna have to win 79 games from here on out, from here until the end of the season. That comes out roughly to about 60% to make the playoffs. Now, there are two teams that have made the playoffs that started out with a record like the Houston Astros, the 1981 Kansas City Royals, and the 2002 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or the Anaheim Angels, whatever you want to call them. Let's see what else we got here. Something I wanted to show y'all. Okay, so here's the projected standings, and I'll get into the bright spots here in a second. So right here, we've dropped. We went from first tied with the Mariners to one under, and look who they still have in third place. They still have the Rangers in third place. The Mariners are at 500. They've gotten hot lately. The Astros are not hot at all. They went down to minus 228 run differential. But they pick the Angels Actually, look at this. They picked the Mariners, the Astros. They picked the Angels to win 76 games. It's not bad, but the Houston Astros clearly have their work cut out for them. At some point, the conversation is going to have to be not, well, we still got a lot of season left to, well, if we don't go on a 5 or 10 game win streak, we're pretty much going to be out of it. Now, teams have gone into the All-Star break under 500. Teams have won 85 games and won the World Series. But it just seems like right now, I'm not going to say all hope is lost. I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready. Apollo also has like this little panic button. And man, I wish I would have thought about that first. And they're like, when is it time to hit the panic button? I wouldn't hit the panic button, but what's interesting is you now have an American League Central that is suddenly one of the stronger divisions. You got the American League West, who is basically the AFC South of Major League Baseball. And then the East is the East. I mean, the AL East right now, you've got the Yankees at 15-7, the Orioles at 15-7, the Rays at 12-10, the Jays at 12-10, and the Red Sox at 13-10. They're all over 500. They're all over 500. The worst team in that division, the Red Sox, is picked to get 5th place with 82 wins. The Astros are picked second place to have 84 wins. And then you have the Central. Well, they have the White Sox winning 59 and losing 100 games, poor guys. And then, the AL Central changes things up. With this projection, you would have 4 teams out of the East. You would have 1 Central team, and then you would only have one of the AL West teams. So it does look bleak right now. I am always positive, always Stros, but I'm going to give y'all some bright spots, okay? And these are just players that I think are the bright spots on the team right now, and there are a couple others. Altuve's been hitting pretty well. Jordan, of course, kind of lately been struggling up and down, but Jordan, for the most part, has been doing really, really well. He's killing left-handers. I mean, put a left-hander against him or Kyle Tucker, and they're knocking out of the park, literally. So Ronel Blanco has been phenomenal, has been the surprise of the season. Maybe not for him, not for his people. I've had the opportunity I've been talking to Ronel all summer long through his training, and he's been really pleased throughout the process. He was really confident coming in to this season. And from what people I know that are close to him were telling me, they were like, look, man, he's gonna deal this year. And when he threw that first no-hitter, I was actually at his first at his game where he threw the no-hitter, his first start of the season. And wow, that was electric. Rafael Montero has been much maligned, has been much criticized, and he is having a banger of a year. I mean, Rafael Montero has literally done a 180, and this is what Rafael Montero does. What he does is every other year he has a good year, and this year he's excellent. I mean, right now 164, 6 Ks, only 5 walks, and last year 2023, a 5.08 ERA, and he was 3-3. Now obviously he didn't have any wins or losses, but this guy this year is doing phenomenal. His whip is 0.91. Last year his whip shot up to 1.53. His batting average against was 279. This year it's a meager 146. He does have one blown save. He has 3 holds. He's only given up 2 earned runs in 11 innings. Only 1 home run, 5 walks, 6 Ks. Look, you need more Rafael Monteros. You need Taylor to step it up. You need Martinez to get back on that streak that he was on. Jeremy Pena has turned it around. Yainer Diaz looks good at the plate. Mauricio Dubon, good God, can we get that man more at-bats? Can we get Mauricio Dubon more at-bats, please? I don't care if you got to put him at first base. Get the man in the game. Sorry, Jake. Sorry, whoever's got to sit down. Dubon is a hit. He is a bag. He is getting on base, and he's not out there enough. Belak has, Belak's not been terrible, okay? Belak's not been terrible. Hold on one second. You know what? I think my son's calling, and I think he's at the door, and I think the door is locked. Hold on one second. Let me mute my mic. All right, I'm going to pause. I have to edit this out. Well, I guess I can't because it's live. My son just came home from practice, and I forgot to leave the door unlocked. 1 second, I'll be right back. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, that's what you call that's kind of season it's been, right, for everybody. So thank y'all, man. Y'all are the best. Y'all are so not judgmental when we have these little things. You look, going live on air sometimes is tough, but look, these are the bright spots. I think Altuve ultimately still is a bright spot. I think you got to get Yordan out of the 2-hole. I don't like him there with Altuve taking every first pitch, every freaking first pitch. And Altuve, can you stop trying to steal bases, please, for the love of God and everything that's holy? Stop stealing bases. Don't run on Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas is a cannon. And with that, I've got to let y'all know that we need to hear about Monopoly Go. It's a great game. Check it out. This episode is brought to you by Monopoly Go. Download Monopoly Go today, free on the App Store or Google Play Store. Guys, I need you to listen to this huge announcement. I've been tracking the leaderboards every day, keeping my eye on the scores, putting all my heart into it, and I'm super pumped to announce that I'm finally on top. That's right. Obviously, I'm talking about the hit mobile game, Monopoly Go. You've probably heard of it. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's a great mobile twist to the classic Monopoly game that you remember playing with your family growing up. You explore hundreds of Monopoly boards from Las Vegas to Camelot to the moon, all while ranking in a huge fortune. Charge rent on iconic properties, just like classic Monopoly. You can charge your friends on their iconic properties or go after their Monopoly money by pulling bank heists and taking wrecking balls to their landmarks. But my favorite part of leaderboards, where you can see who's a Monopoly tycoon and who's gone bankrupt. So download Monopoly Go now for free in the App Store and Google Play. It's fun. And all right, again, thank y'all so much. I want to grab a couple of these comments. David reminded me in 2005, and Sully and I talked about this last time on Locked On MLB. If you didn't get a chance to hear my appearance on Locked On MLB, go check that out. The Astros did start out 15-30 in 05, and they were National League champions. So there is still hope. I'm not saying all hope is lost, and I'm not going to say hope is lost until I know that the team is 100% mathematically eliminated. I mean, I'm going to ride with them as well. You're right, man. You say as a dad, the job is never, dude, it is never done. Like being a father, you don't sign up for being a dad and one day stop being a dad. I mean, I know probably some guys that do that. But yeah, man, being a parent, being a mom, having kids, navigating life. And look, that's another thing. A lot of people ask me, they're like, how can you stay so positive through all this losing? Like, surely you're losing your mind. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to, hey, yeah. So I am a girl dad too. I've got a 22-year-old daughter, but yeah, I've got to have a certain perspective. And look, I can go off the rails a little bit, and I can get off focus, and I can get mad and frustrated. I'm pretty sure that's where Abreu is. I'm pretty sure some of these guys, I'm pretty sure Bregman is just like at odds in, because he's putting all of the work. He's in the lab. He's a gym rat. He's a cage rat. He's going to go in there and put in all the work. But the bottom line is this. This is something that they're going to have to work through. And that's something I've learned in life. When life hits you hard, this is my motto. Not always positive, always Astros. But when life throws you a curveball, knock it out of the park. You're going to sit fastball, but I'm going to expect that curveball. And every time I know when I think things are going just the way I want them to go, boom, life takes a hard turn left or a hard turn right. The Houston Astros are starting to find themselves in territory that they haven't been in a long time. Jose Altuve hasn't been on a bad team in a long time. But the bright spots are there. The back end bullpen, as I have mentioned on the show lineup here, wow. The back end, they simply have not performed. They have been dog water. Abreu has been terrible. Presley has been terrible. Hader has been terrible. For the most part, they've been really bad. And I guarantee if they were to self-evaluate what's gone on, they would probably, if they were able to say it in public, they'd be like, yeah, I'm bad. There was a picture, I forget the guy's name because it was a drive-by listen. I was flipping through the channels on AM, and I think it was a picture for the Rays. And gosh, I think it was McFarland, and he pitched a horrible game apparently. And he was like, yeah, I pretty much sucked. Like every aspect of my game was terrible. Nothing was good. And so why do we need to get specific about it? It was all bad. Hunter Brown has stumbled. Hunter Brown is tough, is tough on himself. Look, he has flashes of brilliance. We know what Hunter Brown can do, but he's got to put it together consistently. You can have all the talent in the world. You can be a number one draft pick, all these things, but you've ultimately got to perform. And I can tell you, talking to former students of mine that became major league players and talking to current major league players and former major league players, hitting a baseball is not easy. But it always seems like because you're hyper-focused on your team, that your team struggles more than other teams. Well, this year, our team is struggling more than other teams. They're hitting into a lot of bad luck. They're making errors in times when you can't make errors. I think the wind was swirling on Abreu, but you absolutely can't afford to make that miss on that pop fly, on that foul ball, because that was crucial to the game. Ryan Presley's got to come in and not blow a lead. So it's these kind of things that I'm wondering. And people are saying it. Actually, you know what? I'm not wondering this. I've seen people say this. I think it's a little ridiculous. People are saying, is this a residual effect from 2017? I'm like, no, this is not a residual. The residual of 2017 is not having any farmhands to bring up that are top 100 prospects. That's the residual. And the cause and effect of that, the effect would be that the team, if it does fall off the cliff this year and like not make the playoffs by nobody's imagination, even on the AOS preview show, all the other hosts had the Astros winning the division. Nobody saw this kind of fall off happening, which tells me it's going to fix itself. But at the end of the day, the residual effect of not having having a pick in the first and second round 2 seasons in a row has absolutely crushed this team. Trading away draft picks or prospects. Now, the prospects we traded away, most of them haven't panned out. I mean, Josh Rojas has become a good, average to above average major league player. There's some other guys I think that we've traded that have done really well, but for the most part, Seth Beer, Corbin Martin just got back from injury again. I mean, who are these guys? JB Bustakis, I don't even think he plays anymore. I mean, all these guys that had promise, they didn't work out. The guys that worked out were the guys that weren't supposed to work out. Javier, Valdez, Abreu, Urquidy, Garcia, guys they paid $5,000 to it. Remember, Chaz signed a $1,000 deal with the Astros. $1,000 to play for the Astros organization. Did you know that? So all these guys, for what everybody said when they first got here, they shouldn't be here. And they are. Now, can we reproduce that? That's the question. That's where the key to this formula lies. And I think Dana Brown and Joe Espada and Jim Crane have a very formidable opponent in remaking this team the way it was made originally. You have a lot of different people. You've lost a lot of your brass. You've lost your Ocampos. You've lost your personnel guys, your Pete Patellas. You've lost these guys, and they're gone. And now you have got to try to rebuild that. and I'm about to apply for Latin talent research. Hey, go do it, man. Seriously, go see if they need some help in the Dominican Summer League, because we just lost 2 great hitting coaches in Elvis Rodriguez and Rafael Pena. Still friends of the show, but yeah, we've lost a lot. Before I've got to go, I need to show y'all that these are the pitchers that are slotted to go this week. Tuesday, if you're listening tonight, it's JP France. We're hoping for a bounce back start. Wednesday, Spencer Arrighetti has come up because of Javier hitting the IL. And Thursday, Justin Verlander. If Arrighetti can come out and catch lightning in the bottle, if France can come out and do decently, Verlander, I think, is going to do his thing. I think we win the 3rd game. If we can get game 1 or 2 of this series and win the series and have a series win going into Mexico City, I think we easily take the Rockies. So you went 1-3 in Washington. You go 2-3 in Chicago. That's 3-3. And if you win both games against Colorado, that's a 5-3 road trip in an 8-game set. I will take that. At this point, I will take that, because if the Houston Astros, go 5-3, their record will be 12-18. It looks a whole lot better than 7-16. So that's all I got tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all are the best. I appreciate y'all. Eric and I do. And keep him in your thoughts. He's good. He can't make it. But he will be back when he can get here. So y'all have a good one. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. This has been another great edition of Locked On Astros, and y'all have a good one. We're out.